there, welcome to DollMotion! It's winter! So put on your sweater and winter hat, because we are going to make a snowy owl. For this repaint, I'll be using Jackson Jekyll. Well, only his body. For his head, I'll be using apple white. This is because owls have a round head. But first, we need to take it off. I take a mug, fill it with hot water and dunk the doll in it. I let it soak for a while. This makes it much easier to take off the head. With acetone, I remove the tattoo from his back. Because male doll necks are wider than female dolls, I make it wider with a hot glue gun. This way it fits perfectly. With an X-Acto knife, I take off his ears and his nose, because he will be getting a beak. I also click off his upper arms. They will take place for his future wings. They can go to my spare arm box. To give him a tail and wings, I first need to make some holes. I do this with my litho cutter. I made some special wire by binding aluminum wire and normal wire together. Cover it with bandage tape for better hold. Like always, I use a 2-part epoxy glue to glue the wires. First his tail, and after that his wings. To be sure everything will hold in place, I cover some parts with epoxy clay. His face will also be needing some epoxy clay. I form some strong eyebrows and a beak. When the clay is all dry, I take a mouth cap so I won't breathe in clay particles and start sanding some parts down for a smoother look. Like I was saying, I'm going to make a snowy owl, and they are famous for being, well, snowy white. Because I don't have an airbrush, I'll be using layers of thin acrylic paint and a lot of Handmade matte varnish. After every layer, I also cover the doll with pastel powders. This will cover the brush strokes. After more and more layers, I cut to a point the paint can be scratched off. It's a good alternative if you don't have an airbrush and you want to change the skin tone of a doll to a lighter tone. One big downside: painting joints don't really work. But my doll will be getting shoes, so that won't be a problem. For now, I'm going to turn to his clothes. I'm going to make him a sweater and a hat by using a sock. For more sweater tutorials, see my Christmas special. Before I can make the rest of his clothes, I have to give his tail and wings some body. I use a light stretchy fabric. I simply sew it around the wings. not forgetting its tail. His jeans were simple. I just traced a Monster High male doll, sew everything together and flip it inside out. His winter jacket was harder to make, because I wanted his jacket to have lining. Eventually, I got him a jacket. I just need to attach some snaps and teeny tiny buttons. His shoes are the only thing I kept from his Jackson Jekyll original outfit. I first take off the factory paint with acetone and painted them more to match his jacket. I dressed him before giving him any feathers, because putting on his jacket could have damaged his wings. So I have to work around it with elastic bands. I bought a lot of feathers and I will be using every one of them. First, everything goes in a ball. And now the most important thing, wear a mouth cap. Feathers don't really seem dangerous, but believe me, you'll be coughing up feathers for the rest of the week. To make tiny feathers, I cut the feathers in smaller parts. The lower part I'll be using later, but for now I set them aside. Now I cut the feathers in even smaller parts. I do this, well, many times. Time to glue them to the wing. I use a fabric glue. Stick the feathers to it, beginning with big feathers, ending with smaller feathers. Then I flip the wing and also do this on the other side. Snowy owls have small black dots on their back, head and back wings. Younger owls and females have the most spots. To finish the wings, I use the leftover feathers. I use them to fill up the wings. Finally, the face up. Like always, I first spray the doll's face with Mr. Super Clear. I start sketching his face with a light pencil. I want him to have a happy smile, like those images on the internet, they are so cute. That means I have to squish his eyes a little bit. If I think about a famous snowy owl, I think about Hedwig from Harry Potter. I was thinking of naming him Hendry as a combination of Harry and Hedwig. And now for the question of the day. This one is by Wisp. The question is, which is your favorite doll you or another artist has done? Let me think. My own doll would be the Summer Fox. And from other doll artists, I like so many, so here to name a few. Hextian's Pinkie Pie, Moonlight Jewel's Winter Princess, Doll's Brand New Look's Pennywise, Delightful's Mulan, and well, many more. If you have a question, leave it in the comments, and maybe I will answer it in the next video. Back to the repaint. With pastel powders, I darken some areas around its eyes, mouth and beak. When the doll is done, I spray the doll's face with Mr. Super Clear. Wait for it to dry and give it some shine in its eyes, lips and beak with a high gloss varnish. To cover his head, I cut even smaller feathers and glued these to his head. For his eyebrows and a hidden beak, like owls have, I used the leftover feathers and trimmed them afterwards. I hope you liked this video. We have summer, autumn and winter, and only spring to go. Like always, like if you liked it and sub if you loved it. See you in the next video. Bye!